Hi and hello and welcome to episode 4 going over. Let's go, Saleh.
Good morning. Good morning. Good evening.
Well, I mean, it's the evening if you're listening live on, well, I guess it's not like pre-recorded live on 95.9 FM or AM 610, the sports animal here terrestrially in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
It's always a good morning for me, though.
I like that.
Always.
Hi, of course, I'm Fred Slow. You are Saleh Taylor. We're excited to be here on the program today. We're going to recap the big Duke City Championship Wrestling event from last night. Your first exposure to Duke City Championship Wrestling.
Live,
Yeah, we will get into that. Big thank you to the Historic El Rey Theater for being a part of Duke City Championship Wrestling. Big thank you to the crowd of Duke City Championship Wrestling who came out in droves. I haven't got the final ticket number yet. Looked to be a shade under 500.
I'd say we hit pretty close.
Yeah, we were pretty close. So pretty excited about that. Those who are maybe tuning in to going over for the first time, what we do here is we recap the world of pro wrestling. So obviously a lot of WWE talk, a lot of AEW talk. We put a fun spotlight though on our local promotion, and that's Duke City Championship Wrestling, based here out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I myself in the ownership group of Duke City Championship Wrestling. Saleh, you an employee of Duke City Championship Wrestling and obviously co-host of this program. But if you buy a ticket to Duke City Championship Wrestling, what you're doing is you're sliding money into daddy's pockets.
Daddy's pockets.
Yes. We are live streaming on Facebook.com and YouTube. You can go to Facebook.com/going over, YouTube.com/@going over, and we have fan interaction during that time. So if you're joining us on the Going Over chat line, thank you for joining us. Angel says, awesome show last night. And Angel, thank you.
Thank you, Angel.
Full disclosure, we go a little inside pro wrestling when we do this program, and we're going to do that right now, Saleh. We had a little bit of a hiccup to start the program last night, and we hadn't had hiccups before. Our previous 2 lives had gone at or near as flawlessly as they could. But what do? We keep +1ing everything, So we're adding visuals, we're adding a Tron. We had a bunch of fun graphics for everyone, for all of our wrestlers.
Shout out to the Tiny Tron, by the way.
The Tiny Tron. Let's go on that. But yeah, we weren't able to utilize that stuff, because we had some technical difficulties there at the El Rey. But big appreciation for the El Rey on them helping us work through it. Only the first match started without intro music, and I was very happy and very impressed with the way those guys were able to run through and work through kind of that diversity. And then lastly, the ambulance was late. We're trying to start the show, and I'm out there with like a microphone. I'm doing like a it's the first time here, it's the second time here. You go out and you're like, hey, I'm going live on Instagram Reels or Facebook or TikTok or whatever it was, and the crowd's going wild, and then
dead time.
That
was fun.
That was something.
Yeah, twas.
So I call, and again, and I'm not, me, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. Like Albuquerque Fire Department is the best to us. They treat us so very kind. There was other stuff going on in the city.
Yeah.
So we a little 12-minute late start, and then we had some technical difficulties. But big thank you to everyone who problem solved it. Big thank you to everyone who was a part of the biggest thank you though, Saleh. The crowd at the
Albuquerque, you came through. You were patient, and you were hot, and you stayed hot. Thank you so much.
I tell you what, afforded us grace. You know what I mean? Because we had that. We tell you 7:30. We tell you you're out at 9:45. We promise you that. We didn't start the fight. We didn't start the night until about 23 minutes in. We were 23 minutes behind this thing. But you know who was behind us? That crowd. And they brought us right back. They said, we get it. This is Albuquerque.
It's that Burka time, man.
Thank you. And we hit the ground running. And, a little production note, we end up shaving 90 seconds, 2 minutes off a handful of matches. And, we're only promising guys 13 minutes anyways.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're giving guys the entirety of the night to go and do their thing. And you can't hand everyone the microphone, and you can't, there's a pick and choose, and everyone wants so much right now. And I love that creative aspect of the product. And I love how all that works. The thing about last night was those guys who are so eager to get out there and do as much as they can, they were willing to get back to the program, to keep it tight, to keep it important. And they did.
And I appreciate every single one of the talents that came in last night and just did their thing.
Friend of the show, Sarah, joining us.
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah, she says it was an amazing show while she was there. Maybe she had to leave a little early. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. We didn't get out at 9:45.
Ambulance is late. Sorry, Sarah. You missed a bit, but it's all good. You were there. You saw some. You enjoyed some. Thank you, some.
Our format for today is you're going to present the card from last night, and we're going to talk about it. So you want to go? So we open up with Man High. Let's not go past that.
Man High, Gabe, Mr. Gambino.
Yeah, stud, spectacular. So Man High, we open the doors at 6. They start playing live music at 6:01. People are coming in. There's no one at the beginning of their set. By the end of their set, there's no one sitting down. Like, man, live music with pro wrestling. We were so fortunate to have a handful of people of notoriety there last night. I was talking to the New Mexico State Athletic Commission, and they're going, and we're saying last night, we're recording on Friday morning following the show. This is airing Saturday night on the Sports Animal. As I'm talking to them, they're like, hey, this music, this was a good touch. And, I think that's kind of the fun part, Saleh. Like, you've been in the wrestling industry forever. I'm relatively new, but let's just give everyone the pickle. You know what I mean? Like if you need an extra pickle with your pro wrestling sandwich, we're going to give it to you, and we're going to do it in the way of Man High.
And so Man High is a 2-person band that came through and just we're setting the table for you, and we kind of set the table with a bit of an entree because we love you that much.
Yeah, it did feel that way. It was a multi-course meal.
Yeah.
So they perform. Obviously, I come out. I tell you, I'm so fortunate, and the organization is so kind to me. Duke City Championship Wrestling, the ownership group, they let me be the first one in the ring every night, and that's so kind. And I get to come out with a microphone and say hi and hello and welcome to the historic El Rey Theater, and I enjoy that, and I love that, and it's important to me. But then after that, it's you, and it's Fernando Gonzalez, and it's Adam Merrick, and it's all the guys that take over microphone wise. We introduce a lot of different personalities and characters.
Yeah.
But then Gabe Gambino of Man High, he does the national anthem right there on his freaking guitar.
Exactly what we needed, and that was chef's kiss, baby.
Yes, I agree completely. From the live chat, music pumps up the crowd, I believe. Well, I believe that is true.
I believe that belief.
Yeah, big thank you to Angel for that input. And so the show's underway. We're doing our thing. Banger rendition of the national anthem. We're about 20 minutes behind. So we're playing catch up against what? Against a finish line that we created ourselves. Like, yeah. So as we're running the program out, you're doing some fun stuff. You're doing some social media stuff. I know you're going to produce some stuff here today and put out just like a collaboration of highlights and spotlights from last night. But it was your first live experience. We had kind of enticed you into this after you had coined me to help host a Jimmy Hart panel at a Comic-Con. And I said that again, by the way. Yeah, well, and thank you for including me, and how fortunate I feel I've been able to bring you into this world that we have created. Your first experience at a live event, give it to me, Sally. Give me the good, the bad, the ugly, and the sexy.
Well, first off, it just thank you for allowing me time and space and just letting me and trusting me to do whatever it is you're asking me to do. Thank you for that. The event was live, man. The event was hot, and the crowd makes it even better. I'd say any product when you have when you have a so-so crowd, it stays so-so.
Yeah.
But we have a good product, and the crowd just turned it up a notch, and every person that was inside, it was electric.
Yeah.
All of our performers, all of our talent who was coming through was feeding off of it. We were responding. It might be due to the venue, just like really keeping the sounds in, but I say we got close to a few dom heat moments, man.
There, and we'll get to those. Yeah, when they arrive. But I think you're correct. And what's so interesting about the historical right there, which, by the way, if you haven't been, DCCWtickets.com, they went on sale last night for the next show, September the 14th. They're on sale now. They are going like hotcakes. I think the entire stage area is gone. I think all the front row seats are gone.
Yes, it is.
So it's go now. Go and get. With that said, when you come into the historic El Rey, you might not have a favorite pro wrestler. You maybe haven't been to a show yet. You maybe haven't experienced. You're going to leave with one.
I agree.
And that's incredible to me, where it's every fan, it feels like to me, in attendance is either celebrating the person they knew they were going to come to celebrate. They were brought in by a Hobo Hank or a Tommy Test, who we'll talk about at length. They'll come in and celebrate their guy, or they will find a new guy. They'll find a new gal. They'll find a new personality, and they leave with a favorite or a spotlight or a memory of something or someone. And I am just so incredibly appreciative that people allow themselves to suspend disbelief for, the 2 hours, 3 hours a month that we can give that to people, and just submerge themselves in the story that is professional wrestling. Also, big thank you to some friends of my show. I host 2 Men On every day, Monday through Friday here on the Sports Animal here in Albuquerque. A lot of friends of that show came out to support and said hi to me and hello to me. And, my co-host Van was there in attendance.
We love you, Van. Thank you for coming, Van.
Oh, just so incredible. We're opening it up and we're recapping DCCW from last night. Also from the live chat, Sarah's favorite is Sid Luciano.
Sid, the not-so-kid. I love that guy.
And he works in a very strong way. He is a dude of talent, and we will go into that at length. But before that, let's go down the card as we saw it last night. We only got 34 more minutes, so shoot, we better jump on the horse.
May as well.
Episode 1 was the opening match. You want to give that to me?
American Kickboxer versus Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it was a great way to start the show, start the night, and these two boys felt the weight of it, and they delivered.
Yeah, and it's actually American Kickboxer 2, trained by the original American Kickboxer. What does that even mean?
You know what? I don't mind.
No, I didn't mind at all. Yeah, but it was two dudes who had to come out, like we said, without their intro music, which is tough because they deserve that. They deserve the exact same accoutrement that we give everyone else. But these two dudes who are equal size, equal athleticism, came out, put on a show, and a lot of excitement and a lot of energy to start it. If you were to ask me, Fred, was there a downside of this one? Just not long enough. You know, these guys could take an entire night to themselves. They have a world of talent. And if they're jerking the curtain for our promotion right here, opening the show, only imagine what they'll be able to do down the road with a couple more years under them, falling into some really solid storylines and being a part of DCCW for a long time to come. Yeah, but I was very happy and I was very impressed with them.
I agree that this was a very, very great opening match. The lot of beautiful spots, and
yeah,
they told a great story. And
yeah,
I'm great for them to just take on the mantle. Like I used to think back in the day when you're younger, you know, the opening match was just someone like a match you can just like throw away, whatever. Right. But
might be the most crucial one.
Now you feel that like weight, and that determines like how the night's gonna go. And these guys set a great precedent on what to expect for the rest of the night. And
I agree completely.
Great job, gentlemen.
I agree completely with that. And then immediately a fun shift into second gear. Also a little inside pro wrestling here. We record the 2-hour program live on whatever night we're doing at the El Rey. We then cut and chop and reverse it into 4 30-minute episodes on ProView Networks here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Comcast Channel 26, or our YouTube channel. With that said, every episode is 2 matches. So this is the opening match, American Kickboxer versus Manny, and then
American Kickboxer 2.
Yeah. And then the main event of this episode is the first time that we've had women main event. And that's Eliza Hayes versus Valentina Loca. And I had not met Valentina Loca till that night. And if she tells you she's 4'10", she's being generous. She's like a Polly Pocket.
But my favorite thing about her, she might be overselling that, but we know that she has the confidence of a 5'10" person.
Oh gosh. So it's her and Eliza Hayes. And Eliza, this is her second match in DCCW. We debuted women. She was our first debut champion, or excuse me, she was the first winner in women's competition. She'll forever be a trivia question with this organization. With that said, I thought they put on just a display. There were so many near falls in this one, and it ended up being the story where it was 1 count, 2 count kick, and it was over and over and over again. And at the very end, I believe it was the leg sweep, but I don't remember. So at the very end, Valentina takes Hayes to the mat, and Hayes is down, but maybe she positions the arm or the shoulder over, and maybe Loca positions the arm or the shoulder, and the winner ends up being Hayes. And Loca is not your victor, and the crowd wanted it, but it was so close that I can't imagine this story is going to die here. I can only imagine they'll have to run it back again, because this one did not seem decisive from my viewpoint.
I'd say this was a great way. Let's talk like broad term, like big picture right here. It's no secret that like women's wrestling hasn't been booked well in general, and like, historically, yeah. But like I love that we're taking it serious here, and we're approaching it in a way that people can be, you know, empathetic, compassionate, but more importantly, they can just root for it. And I'm telling you how passionate our people were about this finish. I was like, yes, we got you hooked in, and everyone wants more. So definitely, we're planting seeds on something that can become bigger, because these two are competitive. These two wants to earn that upper hand, and this is just the beginning for the two of them, because I can't wait to see what else they're going to bring to the table for us.
Well, and then we tried moving on, right? So we're going to go straight into, which I'm very excited to talk about, Tyler Copeland and Sean Lau, but we go straight into the next match tonight. But before we can get there, is Adam Merrick's doing his introductions and going through it. The return of, right? So this is kind of an interesting one. This is Matthew Robles is back in Albuquerque. Matthew Robles is presenting, we're inside wrestling right now, a character or a gimmick that hasn't been in this 505 6 years, 7 years, 8 years,
5-6 years.
Yeah.
About 5 years.
Yeah, and we know he has a world of success, in broadcast radio. He does a ton of stuff with the University of Utah. Like he's a world of talent. He's been all this great country doing professional wrestling. And what a get for Duke City Championship Wrestling that Matthew Robles, as much as you love him or hate him, have him back in the 505 contributing to entertainment here. And we didn't see him just once last night. We saw him twice. But coming out and telling the world who he was and holding the stick in the middle of the ring,
his presence was felt, and we couldn't help but just acknowledge that, because Matthew Robles, I saw him last time I saw him was about 5 years ago, and he's such an amazing talent on getting whatever reaction he wants from you. He does an amazing job. I'd say as a great person who knows how to utilize some psychology and charisma.
Right.
That man stands in the ring. You are reacting.
And he's saying things that resonates on multiple levels. And I'll give you an example. He's, Matthew Robles is presented as the commissioner of United States
Sports Entertainment,
Sports Wrestling or whatever. Then he says, appointed by Donald Trump in 2016. And you're like, what if I like Donald Trump? Do I like you? Or what if I like not Donald Trump? Does that mean I hate you? Then if I do like Donald Trump, that means I hate you as a person. And you get all this confusion, and there's just mental gymnastics to the idea of the character. And it's presented so well. And the crowd, I was so impressed how the crowd remembered and the crowd reacted.
That beautiful part right there. Like I said, 5 years since I've seen him, but when you see him in the ring, you know exactly who he is and what he's about. And I was around friends actually that hasn't seen a show ever.
Sure.
And they just knew that I gotta hate this guy. I need to. It might have been a little bit of mob mentality, but I'm just saying, hashtag MK Army, baby. Who knows who else is in there? We might have sleeper agents.
Who knows?
But he's taking his claim that they're here. Apparently they're already here. So we'll see where this takes us.
Yeah. Well, and on the broadcast, as we're going through it, and it's me and Chris Burnett, and we're talking about everything that's going on in the ring. I wanted to believe I was going to be able to present levity to Matthew Robles returning, but the moment itself was big enough to do it itself. And then after it did it itself, it was significant enough that I even believe the viewer at home, like the kid sitting crisscross applesauce on his grandma's floor watching this thing on Saturday afternoons on Comcast Channel 26, that they know that guy is a guy that's here to shake things up. And if he's there to shake things up in favor of your favorite wrestler, you're going to be a fan of him. And if he's there to shake things up in opposition to your favorite wrestler, you're going to hate his guts. And I was just overall very impressed.
And that's great stuff. But moving on to our second episode, what we're going to show, the opening match for that episode, Tyler Copeland and Sean Lau.
Yeah, two dudes that did it. Little inside wrestling. Tyler Copeland came out. Tyler Copeland and I grew up in the same neighborhood. Tyler Copeland and I are both from St. Louis, Missouri. Tyler Copeland and I, we didn't go to high school at the same time, but we went to the same high school.
It's like a 30 gap on that.
And he helped me 15 years ago get into the wrestling business. He had started a promotion to do fundraisers for his church, and then he was running shows at the local university, and I was the voice of that. And I'm talking like really fun stuff, Santa Claus matches and just all that classic gimmick stuff. And whenever we started DCCW here, he was my first thought. The guys that help you get here, you help them as well, and boys help boys. And to have Tyler come out, and he lives in Austin now, but to have him come out and bill him from St. Louis, and he cuts a promo in the ring on how he thinks I suck, and he's like, the owner of your organization sucks, and he goes out there and just has a banger with two dudes who look like pro wrestlers, and Tyler Copeland and Sean Lau pro wrestling each other.
And was it Loud and Proud?
Yeah, right.
I love that. My man Sean Lau. You don't see the Asian warrior. You don't see too many Asian wrestlers, but we have a wrestler coming out who's Lao, and that was actually really cool. So I got to shout out to my Lao fam. I'm pretty sure next time he comes, I got to make sure they come. So they're gonna be very upset that we had an Asian wrestler that they didn't know about, and it was like, hey man, Just buy tickets next time.
Yeah, why are you keeping it a secret?
Yeah,
keeping a secret.
I'm keeping secret. Just buy tickets and come find out together.
Well, and you know what's so funny? It's I went to school on the West Coast, and I've been a fan of pro wrestling forever. There have been kind of a lot of American Samoans in my life. There have been like throughout my course of existence, and I don't know if what I'm about to say is racist or racist adjacent, but like there's a similar speaking tone. There's a similar colloquialisms. There's similar sound. I don't know if listener of Going Over is aware of your American Samoan heritage. I think I just assume that it's recognized like in your voice, but maybe not.
Well, it's kind of cool though. Like it's one of those things. If you grew up around it, you know about it.
Yeah.
But
talk pigeon.
How's it? You know the kind of. You know, it's fun though. I'm an actor.
Yeah.
And I'm also no secret brown tone.
Yes.
So I played just about every brown nationality. Smart. You know, just tell the story. You know, do the thing. But it's funny. Like we just grew up having to be chameleons. In the society, we had to like adjust, but also keep to our heart, keep to the soul and heart of our culture and stuff. But there are those what we call fobs, fresh off the boat, that still speaks like they're still in Samoa and speak with the colloquially.
Yeah.
With the language, with the rules of the language. I'm trying to speak in an American language. That's what accents are, anyways.
Well, and I knew you still had so much Samoan in you when we first met, and you're like, Fred, will you help me make a YouTube channel where we make different versions of Spam? And I said, yeah, sure. I guess we can fry Spam.
I think we're calling Spam every way.
That's
and all life. Yeah, it's all
Spam goulash. It's like that scene in Forrest Gump when he's talking about shrimp.
Spam soup.
Yep.
Spam potatoes. Spam salad. Spam rice and spam, fried rice. Yes. Actually, when I was in Hawaii, one of my favorite things that I actually missed. Musubi, man. God. I think I'm gonna make some of that later.
It's the worst.
Oh, it's the best. You've had it bad.
It's so good.
It's the best worst thing about it.
I had it from like a tiki hut on the side of a road. Where like only like you had to be on a Vespa to access it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm like, this is the authentic one. And then everyone in town's like, you should have went down to the 7-Eleven. Yeah.
Those are the real ones.
That's literally
those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The IGA's got them. Oh, okay. Cool.
Bro, go to the gas station.
Yeah, I'll go over there.
Penny kind over there, bro.
Copeland and Lau wrapped up a banger. Tyler ends up becoming victorious in this one. Kind of an interesting finish, cheap shots him at the end and it works out, obviously in Tyler's way. And afterwards, I'm catching up with Tyler because, we're going to shoot here. We're very good friends, like in the ring and in the production. He hates my guts. But afterwards, he says to me, he goes, hey, the elevation here is real.
See, he wasn't just fighting the Asian warrior. He was also fighting his breath.
Correct.
Like, trying to keep that. I had to tell him, like, you're breathing 20% less oxygen while you're up here. So, like, adjust accordingly. He goes, what? He lost the breath there.
And there's it takes weeks or a month or whatever for your blood cells to expand to be able to catch more, blah, 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 and all that. And he had been here 2 hours. He flew in this afternoon, so it was, and he's leaving today. We're going to go get lunch after this recording. And I'm like, well, you survived it. You did it. And his finisher is as good as any finisher. It's a fireman's carry into a cutter. It is just a display. And if you were to talk to the finish of a match of the night, I think that one might be within the conversation.
That was a good one. And
you also, maybe the most fun last night was the triple threat we're about to get into. But before we do that, I want to make sure we make mention. This was the first time in our organization's history where we had given the mic so many times in a row to people. So Matthew Robles had come out, he got the mic. Tyler Copeland came out, he got the mic. Sean Lau then took the mic and went Sean Lau.
Loud and proud, baby.
Valak File came out. He took the mic. What is so interesting about 4 dudes consecutively is I'm a big subscriber of don't give everyone the mic. Let them tell stories in the ring. Let them, if they got something important to say, they can yell it loud enough. My fans are here the organization's fans are here to watch pro wrestling. But I may have proven myself wrong because the crowd was with everyone on the mic for the entirety of that run over the course of that 45 minutes there. And I had a look of, I think, surprise, but appreciation that Duke City Championship Wrestling's fan, number 1, smart, and number 2, invested, not just in the action, but in the stories. So color me wrong, Saleh, because I did not know that would do so well.
I think that, definitely this is a case by case situation, but last night we lucked out that it ended up paying off well. But it also helps out when you got people on the mic that knows how to work a mic.
Good point.
And knows how to work a crowd.
Yeah.
And more importantly, the crowd accepts that whatever's happening, they're able to react off of that. And we lucked out that we had the talent that knows how to work a crowd, knows how to get a reaction, knows what to say. You're like, hey man, you got to type 15 second. And on that, at the end of that 15 seconds, or just, you know, so we lucked out, definitely case by case, but that was a good time.
Yeah, I very executed very well. I was very appreciative. We got some VIPs on the live chat. Mr. Happy is with us. He's making his presence known and felt. Handful of DCCW fans. Also, Kyle the ref here in attendance. We didn't talk about this on the broadcast yet, but we provided our officials with new officiating equipment. So they were wearing their referee shirts.
Means the same thing, right?
So the referees, we gave them Duke C real big on the back, and we gave it over the left chest. So you know how much the cameras are on these guys with ProView Networks. You know, they're the logo, I think, if I have it correct, is in almost every single cut of the production.
About, yeah.
And it's so incredibly and smart and placed to me. And we're going to add a handful of new sponsors for the next one. We're really excited. No announcements here, but we're going to hand over some real estate, some really good businesses. And I think we're going to be able to spotlight a lot of fun stuff.
What makes it more impressive is that all the refs are sharing the same shirt. So we had the traveling shirt for the brotherhoods, man. So I was really proud of them. They were able to just keep that fresh for us.
Dry cleaning in the back.
we just have someone in the back with an iron. All right, guys, go.
Kyle the ref says umpire. No, that's my bad.
It's the same thing, right?
I talk on the radio for 20 hours a week, every week. Like, what do you like? Give me a break.
Tomato, potato, baby.
Yeah, those ref shirts were fire from friend of Duke City Championship Wrestling, Sarah. So continuing to the triple threat, which I think a lot of people I told you was their favorite matchup of the night. Valak Vile versus Fonzie. Fonzie is a fan favorite. He is a space cadet. He's on another planet.
Yeah.
We are all on Earth, and Earth is fortunate to have him because he is not from here, I promise you. Versus Tommy Test, who I think might have the pop of the night over old boy Hobo Hank. And if he didn't, I mean, it was in the same tier.
Just once again, I'm in there. This is my first time at a live event, and I'm paying attention to like technical things, but like also I'm more just trying to like tune in and feel what the crowd's feeling. And man, they were hot.
Yeah,
this was a beautifully booked match. It was a beautifully done match. And
Tommy's got an incredible story. You know, Thunder was talking about it because he joined me later in the day on the broadcast, and Tommy grew up in Las Vegas, New Mexico, and I'm richly familiar with Las Vegas, New Mexico. I worked for New Mexico Highlands University for several years doing their broadcasting. And, that's a small town, and it's a small mountain town that doesn't necessarily appreciate the quote unquote big city that is Albuquerque. They want to be this standoff. They want to have this distance. And Tommy, as a young adult and a teenager would come all the way down to Albuquerque to see previous wrestling promotions here in town.
Quite a drive.
Yeah. And now he's, been so fortunate to find success here and in the Arizona area. But he told me last night, he said, that was my first triple threat ever. And you know how pro wrestlers are. They're always seeking coaching. They're always seeking advancement. And he's like, I hope it was good enough. I hope I was there for you. He's kind of running through all the stuff. And I'm like, Tommy, stole the show, my man. Like,
yes.
Yeah, like your work with Fonzie, tremendous. Valak Vile did a great job of being a fun muse of disruption throughout that thing. Very happy, very impressed. Also, I was happy that Valak didn't shoot off his confetti wand. Didn't want to clean that up again.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, by the way, Valak. And we appreciate that. But we understand the use of it as well, though. But thank you for that again.
So very good. So just an absolute banger. Big thank you to what are Tommy Test fans called? Testies. Thank you to all the Testies who came out and were a big part of the show. They made a difference. And they were a different style of fan that we had previously. Rambunctious. They had a little ram in them. And there was bunches of them.
That feels right.
Yes.
It was a beautiful night.
And we had an interesting talk after this too last night. And thank you for joining us and going over. We got about 15 minutes left here, and we're going to try to get through the rest of the card and give it the respect it deserves. But we can't rush it. And the reason I'm saying that is we couldn't rush intermission last night too, because fans want that time. They want to be able to talk to their wrestlers. They want to be able to get their merchandise. They want to be able to step out and have a cigarette or whatever they do. And so the standard 15-minute, we did a fun 50-50 drawing. Big thank you to my friend Sam who came out. She's
Sam.
I tell you what, Sam and I go back a long time, really strong professional relationship, even stronger personal relationship. And on a personal note, what her and I have been through together for us to still have this bond and find success. But she sold the crap out of the 50-50. We sold her like $300 or something fun. And
we appreciate you.
Yeah. Gave a bunch of money back to a fan, and it was cool. It was really good. So I was really happy about that. Really impressed. So that was a fun reading. We also introduced like local celebrities that were in attendance, and that was fun because there wasn't one or two or three.
We had a few.
There was a half dozen like really significant, fun, like influencers here in town, and I was happy to give them a little bit of a spotlight. So that's the thing. But what do we got to do? We got to kickstart this thing after the intermission. Not a better way to kickstart it than with Sid the Kid and Thunder. These two dudes know how to pro wrestle.
And I'd say that was a perfect way to get the card back.
Yeah.
Get the card back going.
Yeah.
You know, I got lost in that structure for a second.
Sentences are hard.
Since wording is hard, man.
Yeah.
You know, the opening the show is like, and closing, but also when you have intermission, getting the momentum back, you got to choose that carefully. And I'd say you chose correct on this.
Yeah, I agree. And this was the start of the road to the
championship,
right?
Baby.
So we have the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and then the finals. And we're doing all our quarterfinals matches tonight. So Thunder victorious over Sid the Kid. This was an interesting one. They're both in the world of wrestling terminology. They're both baby faces. Yeah. The crowd loves them both. The crowd celebrates them both. And it really showed, I thought, in the storytelling of a cool 50-50 back and forth. I'm going to go for my finisher. It's not quite going to hit. You're going to go for yours. I'm going to stop yours at the end. End it with a handshake. You know what I mean? And
respect, man.
Yeah. Thunder goes over and he does what? He makes his way directly to the Duke City Championship bracket, which is posted on the wall, writes his name unlegibly in marker, and he's on to the next round, and we're on to the next of the quarterfinal. And
the significance of that poster, I love the walk to the wall.
Yeah,
it just feels right. And whoever's by that poster next time, feel free to bring your phone out, because it just feels like you're watching something special.
Yeah,
and be part of that and join in on that moment, because this is the first championship we got for DCCW. So I'm excited for this. Anytime you want to be part of this is a great time to take part of that.
If you want a ticket over there, buy that poster, DCCWtickets.com. You can go reserve your seat now. Every seat that we put out does get purchased. I'm not trying to be the guy that's like, we're sold out, hurry up. We are those guys. We're real fortunate right now. And keep in mind, I'm in the ownership group. I think legally I have to tell you, but I'm excited to tell you that every time you buy a ticket, I don't just get paid to commentate. I get ticket sales. Like you're sliding money into Daddy's pocket. And I promise you, Daddy is going to put it back into the product. Like, that is what we're doing. We have taken away $0 in salary. We have taken away $0 in compensation. And every single dollar we brought in, we bought a Tinytron.
Tinytron. Oh, sorry, I got to whisper that. Tinytron.
We're including live music. We got new truss, and we got new lightings, and we got more chairs. And it's new merchandise.
Comfy chairs.
Thank you. But yeah, as it comes to us, we make sure it goes back out. We got to fly a little bit now, as we're down to just about 10 minutes left in the program. Jerry Vendetta versus Hobo Hank. This is the first time Hobo Hank had not headlined a live event. He is the headliner of episode 3 of Duke City Championship Wrestling. I was into it. I had some nerves because I had seen through some promotions here previously, not the one we currently run, but I'm talking years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, pre-pandemic. If you put Hobo Hank in the mid card, the crowd leaves after Hobo Hank. And I had this, will they stick around? Is it all Hobo Hank thing? What's my belly telling me? The crowd stuck it out.
Yeah.
And I was in love with discovering the idea that Hobo Hank doesn't necessarily have to be in the main event every time. Hobo Hank just needs to be throughout the process. And he and Jerry Vendetta, who is a very good pro wrestler, put on a very good pro wrestling match.
I agree. This one just felt like watching a classic wrestling match. And these two put on a great show, a great clinic on this. And just, once again, Albuquerque, you came out, you showed out, and you left. You were with us the entire night, and I cannot thank y'all enough.
Yeah,
because good God, y'all were there with us. So thank you for that.
Episode 4 from last night is if you're gonna watch one on YouTube, if you went live and you're like, I don't need to go back and watch the TV, By the way, I'm the commentator. It's very fun. It's very entertaining. But if you're going to go back and watch one, watch the first match of episode 4. That's Turbo Tony versus Happy the Clown. Thunder sat in with me on the broadcast, talks a lot about the psychology of wrestling, talks a lot about he's watching his upcoming opponent, talks about what he scouts, goes into, in a completely kayfabe way, a really good pro wrestling coverage insight. And it was the first time we put commentary of a pro wrestler on the broadcast. So that was an important thing to me. Turbo Tony versus Happy the Clown. Happy the Clown is an unmatched energy. His fan base is huge. He could be the mayor of this city if he so very tried hard enough. And Turbo Tony, unfazed, is physically looks the part, mentally has it down, can speak, can sell, can give. He is a total package dude. And if you didn't know the outcome before, I don't think you could have predicted it. But Turbo Tony goes over on Happy the Clown, and it didn't happen without a little involvement from Matthew Robles.
And now Matthew Robles once again making his presence known and felt. Hashtag MK Army, baby.
Yeah.
Who knows is in it? Who knows what we do with it?
Who even knows what it means?
What is MK? Mother Knuckles. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
But once again, just getting a reaction when the crowd realized who was standing there. You felt.
Well, and Turbo Tony, even though, kind of looking on the heel side, the bad guy side of pro wrestling, he had only really kind of fought cleanly. He'd only really kind of competed that way. And then to finish off Happy the Clown, I think I said on the broadcast, he cocked him in the head with his chicken. And it was because Happy the Clown brings out these props, and Turbo Tony takes advantage of one with the distraction of Robles. And
so he's a bit of an opportunist on that one.
A little bit. Yeah. And there's good storytelling there, because it's, Happy the Clown, not vested, not at all. There were too many factors against him. And if Happy the Clown were to, at the beginning of the next DCCW show, grab a microphone and say, you can't do me dirty like that. Let's redo this quarterfinal. Let's make sure this is that or whatever. It would be hard for DCCW or the fan base to combat that. Do I necessarily think that'll happen? No. But do I think that Happy the Clown will take it out on someone else? Heck yeah, I do. So just a banger of a one. And then we changed up the main event for the first time. We had Hobo Hank versus Charlie 50 back to back with no rubber match here. Also, we have some fun announcements coming up in the future, which we won't spoil. Chewy Martinez, who is a monster of a human being, versus Mosh Pit Mike, who is a monster of a human being.
Two former friends, former partners going at it. I believe they're partners for 16 years?
Yeah, former tag team partners.
That's many moons, man.
Right. And the product we're trying to create, we have a very PG product. And Hobo Hank did draw a little color earlier in the night. That was accidental. Obviously, those things happen. But Chewy Martinez and Mosh Pit Mike incorporating the steel chair into their match. And Jeff, the ref, is the worst. He either changed the rules and didn't tell me, or didn't care about the rules, and I don't know which one it was.
Maybe we got to sit down with Jeff on this, man. Jeff, we're gonna have to call in soon, bud. And we're gonna have to shoot this soon, bud. But yeah, once again, I'm feeling the vibe of the crowd.
Yeah, they
were there every spot, every moment. The crowd was with it, and then when Jeff the ref, they were there. They're
telling them about it the whole time. Friend of Duke City Championship Wrestling, Sarah, says in the live chat, it's Big Red and Hot Dog. Yes, those are the named props for Happy the Clown. He names his toys. He's out there. He's a little out there.
We need a ground control for the Major Tom out there. And yeah, we love Happy.
Yeah.
Happy, we love you, man. That was, man, love you, Happy.
Mosh Pit Mike goes over to Martinez to end the quarterfinals. All 4-man signed the bracket that was posted at the historic El Rey. We have the semifinals lined up. That's September the 14th at the historic El Rey Theater. Absolute banger. Could not have had a better night outside of the start of the technical difficulties.
Great finish.
I tell you what, the finish was there, and we walked out with loud music and smiling faces. We did wrap at 10:15. We normally wrap at 9:45. So I felt the crowd leave at 10:15. Normally there's a hangout for 15 minutes, commiserate, communicate, whatever, have a lot of fun. But it was great. It was great in every single way. Also, what you don't see there at the historic El Rey that you only see on the television broadcast is this. It's Fernando Gonzalez. He gets a chance to one-on-one interview Eliza and Valentina and Tyler and Tommy and Thunder and Jerry and Hobo and Tony and Happy and Chewy and Mosh and all these guys. they collect promo in the backstage that will make the YouTube and Comcast channel 26. So if you want to see continuations of our stories, you want to see more in depth, more insight, you have to make sure to absorb the TV product.
Yes. We're giving this to you in many different ways. So like taking the product for however you can. Is it Comcast 26, you said?
Yeah.
Or YouTube, or our YouTube channel. We're going to be more active on our social media. Like any way you can, you're always more than welcome to reach out to us and ask like, how can I be more involved with this? Well, keep buying tickets, baby.
Yeah, that's, I mean, number one. And that's the thing too, you know, it's the Friends of Duke City Championship Wrestling. Your path was a little bit different. Obviously, you're industry adjacent, and you and I have big plans for an event in the early spring next year. But it's the guy that like runs our grip, like of the stage, a guy named Kevin. He came to the first show as a fan. And he was like, hey, you know, I've in Oklahoma City, I was doing some stuff, and I'm a guy who's very familiar with the business. And it's during the show, it's hey, go adjust the belt. Hey, go pick up, you know, the props that came out. Hey, make sure this lighting is good on the, and he's a guy, he's Johnny on the spot, you know, and it's just very impressive. And he came from a fan based position. So that's the thing. If it's myself, Chris Burnett, Aaron Burnett, Joe Singer, anyone who you identify that identifies as part of this organization, take the time, say hello, you know, and sit down with us. And this one's going to sound a little selfish. The novels that you send me on social media, like fan of Duke City Championship Wrestling, if you send me a diatribe on an Instagram private message about, guys, I'm not going to get through that whole thing. Like send me the bullet points. Like, hey, love the show, love my seat, or this one. Hey, if there's a way something could be different, it's going to be better. Yeah, we'll try. You know, we'll try our best to get you there. You know, we got some +1 ideas moving forward. Give them to us, but do it in a way to where it's like consumable. Like I don't need your word spaghetti.
Give us chicken nuggets.
All right? Yes, that's what. Yeah, I'll give you the pickle. Yeah, like that's all it takes. Overall takeaway from the evening, Saleh. What do you think? What are you excited for in the next one? What is the Saleh Taylor takeaway from Duke City Championship Wrestling?
I'm excited to see technically the next level where we take this from the Tinytron to the lighting to even just honestly
more smoke machines. Just say it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the answer.
Atmosphere. I'd say even more so, I feel like a sense of ownership where I want to do well by y'all.
Yeah.
I want to continue building off of this momentum and giving Albuquerque something that they're going to be proud of, and give you another reason why to come back to the next show next month, and then the one after that. Give you a reason, and like more and more people are a part of the story, and they're aware, and you're bringing in friends and family that has no idea what's going on, but the passion that you're showing, like, oh my God, that guy, we don't like him because blah, blah, blah. But then they're like, I like him. And like, I don't like you. But we want you to continue to react to the product. We want to give you a product that you're proud of, because this town deserves it. This town needs something to be proud of like this. And I'm honored to be part of something like this. And I want to continue to build off of this and just give you something to be proud of.
Kind words, and they are appreciated. Yeah, it is. I tell you what, pro wrestling is best enjoyed with a friend. It's about fellowship. Saleh Taylor, thank you so very much for being part of the program today. Big thank you to everyone that tuned in with us on the live stream. Also, if you're tuning to us on here terrestrially on the Sports Animal, you can find our social media outlets. Going over is everywhere. Also, subscribe to the podcast, iTunes, Stitchers, or wherever you grab your podcast from. For Saleh Taylor, I am Fred Slow. Good job, everyone.
Good GG. Job. GG, baby. Thank you.